Welcome, internet, to episode 2 of the Survivor Buffs podcast, where we discuss everything Survivor with my brother Drew. He already said hello. Okay.
Hello. I'll say
So
it again.
title of the episode,
Juggling chainsaws.
and who said it?
Xander.
Oh my god, I love Xander. Okay. I just had to get that out of the way. I love Xander. I mean, early feelings about the episode without going into too much detail.
Um, early. Okay. It's a tough one, man. It's again, like I said last episode, there's a lot there. It's I don't know. We're gonna have to get into it. There's stuff that I love about the episode, and there's stuff that I'm like,
I get you. I get you. Okay.
Okay.
Then
And
we'll
if you've
start
seen the
off.
episode, then you also know internet.
Right.
But there's stuff there.
We'll start off with what I call the return of the Spy Shack.
Okay.
So what tribe is it? Uwa. JD and Picard decide to go to the well, and Brad decides to run down the beach.
Okay, so
and beat them to the well.
I have to say this.
Yeah.
Ricard looks like a character from Dead or Alive or Tekken. Just saying.
Interesting.
And and I'm not trying to throw shade, but how do you get your hair that white and your beard that dark? Like, did your hair just go white?
I know. That's interesting.
Was there a little Grecian for men in there?
He feels mostly gray to me. Like, he just seems like he's just naturally letting it happen. That's kind of how I see it.
And I know this is very base, but like, okay, great. But like, you've got the silver hair. Like, why the dark?
True. There are some people I know that have whiter beards than they grow hair.
Sure, but have you ever had any friends that had lighter hair than their beards?
No.
I haven't. Anyways, okay.
Fair enough.
Moving on. Okay.
Says the guy with no hair. But okay, moving on.
Fair. Yep.
That's fair. Yep. Okay. So what do you think of Brad's plan here? Like, JD and Ricard go to the well, and Brad's like, "Hey, I bet I can run faster than they can nonchalantly walk." And I don't know. It's Return of the Spy Shack. It felt like Tony 2.0 to me.
Yeah, definitely. And I was kind of disappointed at his teammates kind of poo-pooing of that, like,
now, me too.
Now I get it. Like, I was totally behind, Mafia Pastor, like, cool, right? But just the fact that, she's like confused about why he wants the intel, or not why he wants the intel, but maybe it's just
she disagreed with his strategy.
Well, she wasn't wrong, right? Like, she was like, yeah, like, I don't know if I can trust this player, and I get that.
Right, like, if Brad will do this to me, I'm now sus of going to the well again without Brad.
Yeah, but like, at the same time, with the game, with the timeline being so shortened in, right, with this season, I think you have to play like Brad is playing right now.
Well, Brad almost got voted out last episode, so he feels like he's hanging by a thread, I think.
Fair. Yeah.
So, like again, I loved that he was able, like, he almost is better at it than Tony. Like, Tony spent days trying to dig a hole and try and make his spy shack, and Brad just runs, leaps into a bush, done.
But
like, Tony, take notes.
But so let's be real, right? Like Jeff said at the start of the season, there's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Like, you're not going to have any time to rest. You're going to have to be on your game from the outset and be on your toes the whole time.
Hmm.
And I really think that that intro, like that intro is true. Um, it's a cutthroat game this year. Um, I yeah, I mean, I've got opinions about the mechanics. Let's go through it step by step. Let's
Okay.
let's let's
So
start from the
so I
beginning.
so yeah, Brad runs down the beach, talks to or runs into or listens in on JD and Ricard all talking.
Yeah,
And I mean, yeah, Brad figures some things out and he runs back to camp and lays down and everyone's like, "What did you hear?" And he's like, "No problem, I'll talk about it later. I'm just going to take a nap,"
yeah,
making it seem like he never left,
yeah.
which was interesting. I am I am surprised that JD and Ricard are kind of having that conversation. That was the thing that kind of caught me off guard first because Ricard seemed like him and JD weren't BFFs last episode. So
Okay,
I thought that was intriguing to me.
okay, yeah.
And then it cuts over. Hold on, where's my phone? There we go. Let me just double check my notes here. Then it cuts to oh shoot. Um then it cuts to Luvu and Nasir is apparently an asset now.
Well, I think Nasir was always an asset. Like,
The first episode, it didn't seem like he was edited that way. They were like, they're not searching for idols, and Nasir, and everyone's like, ooh,
so
Nasir, you're being shady.
I mean,
And now suddenly he's like MacGyver.
I mean, so here's the thing. Like, since the episode that I saw Coach in last,
Hmm.
I'm mistrustful of the editing. Do you know a little bit,
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
Like,
Okay,
um,
okay,
and we'll get to it at tribal, and I've got stuff to say about it, and like whatever. I may
okay.
be right or wrong, but yeah, like
I don't know. He threw something at a tree and fruit fell. Like he seems he's in like Flynn. Like people love
oh
him.
oh dude, like he's Nasir's not messing around, and
I know.
like
The first episode, I was like, "Ooh, this is the first guy to go from this tribe," and now I'm like, "Ooh, he's gonna make it to the merge, like 100%."
yeah. Uh, Here's the other thing. Let's okay before anything else, let's
Hmm.
talk predictions about the merge because this season has, like I said last episode, done a lot to turn the regular stereotypes on their ear.
Hmm.
When do we think the merge is going to happen this year?
Like what day is hard to predict. I think the bigger question could be
But you're
will they absorb a third tribe into two and mix up, or will they jumble everything and keep three tribes for a long time? Like, how many tribes are there going to be before the merge? I think I'm curious. I have a suspicion that it's going to be three tribes before the merge. I think they're going to jumble the three tribes and not make two
okay.
until they absolutely
Okay.
have to.
Okay. I like that, and I can agree with that. I think so. You think they're going to take what's there, shuffle it again before the merge happens?
That's what I think, but
I could see that.
I've been wrong
It's,
before. I have been
yeah,
known to be
but
incorrect about things. Yeah.
you know, like this season with the way that it's gone, I think we really need to try and you know make guesses and just kind of
I'm
yeah.
just saying I would be disappointed
I'm going
if
full Sean
they
Evans here.
if one
Sean
of the
Evans, I love you
tribes
by the
is
way.
just absorbed into the other two. I think I would be disappointed cuz
Well,
they've done it so many times before. It would just feel like a repeat to me.
yeah, okay, fair. But
If this
at this
season
point,
is
they haven't
really
done that
drop
yet.
the 4, keep the 1, I'm like on one hand I'm like this is something they've never done, but on the other hand I'm like but they do this all the time. So I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
Fair, fair. Um, okay, so where are we going from here as far as
After this, after Nasir being Survivor MacGyver, um,
Good rhyme. Nice.
we go to Yasa tribe, and Tiff is complaining about not eating.
Yeah. So I mean,
And it
and
shows everyone foraging around for crabs and trying to find food.
so now this is something you and I talked about before the episode,
Hmm.
and this is, I think, kind of a new element that's coming in this year, is that people like, um, and like I'll be straight with you guys. I do a trades job. I work remotely. Sometimes I get busy. Like I have to go to, multiple places in a day. I don't want to
Hmm.
have to, find or use a washroom at a customer's home. So like I'll conserve, when I'm eating. I'll try and make smart choices. This season of Survivor, like we're talking about like they don't have rice, right? Like we haven't seen much that's led to any like Rupert, level. I came back with all these fish. Like we're good
Hmm.
now. We're gonna eat well. So um and I feel like, yes, on one hand, Tiff got, kind of called out for being out of gas. But man, like we're talking day 4 or 5, which is what this
Yep.
episode covered mostly, right?
Yep. Tiff
Um,
Tiff was complaining on day 4. Yep.
so yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, if I work a long day, and I can do that sometimes, and I work late, I come home, I, have a little downtime, I play a little Fortnite with my friends, right? My brother, my nephew, and I fall asleep, and I get up the next day and I roll into work. Like by 2 or 3 o'clock that next day, I definitely hit a very noticeable wall where
Wall. Yeah, okay.
I'm like something's not right. I don't feel good. I get tightness in my chest, um, and suddenly the motivation's gone. The like whatever's gone. Um, I mean, honestly, man, like day 4 or 5 without food, like that's a bad time, man. Like a real
It's a
bad
bad
time.
time. Yeah.
And so on one hand, with some of my background and like how I was raised and stuff, like I would not, like I would at least be inching along like an inchworm. Like I would never want to appear like I'm not trying. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
but clearly, right? This episode, the lack of food like caught up to Tiff, and I feel like she got a little bit called out on this episode, when I think that, maybe everybody else was just a little bit more conditioned. I think anybody in that situation is going to be having a bad time. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Tiff is probably the least athletic on her tribe.
Sure, but I mean, she's a diehard fan. Like we found out like the first episode. Like I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just surprised the episode singled her out. Like, I know it's a bit of a foreshadowing, and we'll get to that, but I'm surprised they singled her out when nobody has race. Nobody. So why show the camera on Tiff complaining at the opening of the episode? It's just
Well,
sort of like an editing thing I've got a
so
problem
again,
with.
when you take the show from 39 days and jam it down to 26 days, there's going to be stuff that you can't show, that you can't
Fair
highlight.
enough.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
feel like that was kind of the one thing where, they were like, yeah, just so you guys know, these guys are a little bit out of gas, right? These gals are
Yeah.
a little bit out of gas.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
So, I mean,
JSYK, like,
nice.
right?
So then we like Xander, of all people, finds the idol that Jeff hid on day one in the exact spot. That
Okay.
that Tiff was right there and didn't catch on day two.
So
Xander day four finds it.
so I'm gonna go out there and just have an opinion.
I
I'm
know,
sure
I
you
know. I
I'm
am
sure
a
you have.
hundred. I have a lot of opinions about this idol. Okay,
I I don't like this idol.
me neither. Me neither. So let me ask you
I just
this:
don't like it.
based on
Because
based
like
on the message written on the outside of the package, if you
yeah,
were to find it, would you open it? Because they did linger for like a good minute on Xander trying to be like, do I do it? I've already made a couple risks. And then he just
honestly,
says screw it, and he opens it. But
honestly, um,
I feel like I would have made Xander's decision. I think I would have
I would have.
opened it.
I
Yeah.
would have to, because I would just have Jeff's his voice ringing in my ears about like like all the times I've watched Survivor and seen somebody have an advantage and be like, I'm going to curry favor by giving part of this advantage away to another player, right?
Mhm.
And Jeff's always like, I don't know if you should give up the advantage. I don't know, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
every time, and he's right, but like now it's so harsh. Like I I really wanted there to be something better when he was like, "F it, I'm gonna open it. I'm doing it. I'm taking the risk. I'm rolling
So
in the
what
dice."
what what would have been wetter or better? I'm kind of curious. Like what would have been, because this
Not what was
advantage
there. Not what was
for
there,
every
man.
okay, so for everyone listening, the advantage red, um congratulations, you have just found a hidden immunity idol. But for
Beware.
this yeah,
Yeah.
but for this idol to have power, well, no, on the outside it goes open, like whatever you read after you open it has to be like it's
Yeah.
like tiny tangent here. When I was like 20 years old, someone told me there's a game me and my friends play, but as soon as you get the rules explained to you, you have to follow them. And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, as soon as I tell you the rules, this has to happen." And I know what you're thinking, Drew, but it's
I
wrong.
know.
The rule was, it was called cheers. And so the
I was
idea
thinking
is, as soon as someone is drinking with like drinking an alcoholic beverage with
yeah.
their right hand, maybe not right hand, whatever your dominant hand is, and someone says cheers, you have to drink whatever drink you have in that hand.
Right.
So there'd be people that would specifically drink with their wrong hand. They would not hold the bottle because they don't want to get caught holding a bottle. But
Right.
the rules were explained. As soon as I tell you the rules, this is what happens now. Like, you're in.
And
So
that's
I
that.
did kind of like that idea about the idol, where it's like beware, but as soon as you open it, it's a thing. See, I'd have to open it too. Like, I'd have to open it too. I could not resist.
I
But
so okay.
but the idea, just to fully explain it, the idea is your idol doesn't have power until you say a certain phrase, and everyone else on the other two tribes have a specific phrase also, and then your idol gets activated.
Basically, you have an immunity idol that you found at your camp, but until somebody at the other two camps finds their immunity idol, it doesn't work.
I can see what they were going for with that mechanic. I just disagree with how they implemented it. Like, who decides these phrases? Like,
Uh
so it's do you know what all three phrases are?
yeah. It's uh something about butterflies, and I realized that butterflies are really just your dead family's descendants popping up to say hi.
Yeah.
Um oh No, you go.
That's my favorite one. Like, who's supposed to say that just normally?
Oh,
Like,
I realized that broccoli is just small trees, basically, and then which is also
sorry,
ridiculous.
I like the broccoli. I realized the broccoli is just tiny trees. Oh, it
Just
made
tiny
me. I
trees,
paused the episode and laughed out loud. I was like, "That is amazing." But
and
who
then
who is supposed to say that?
well,
Who says that?
but what's the other one?
Oh shoot, I don't know, dude.
I mean,
Um,
okay, props props to Survivor, you know, producers. Like, if everyone had a showed up at that thing, and everyone had a said the secret phrase, yes, we all would have been like,
okay.
"Oh my
So
gosh,
let me ask
what's
you
gonna
this.
happen now?" But the chances of that, like, it, um,
So what's the issue? Is it the phrases or the fact that there's a three-part idol that requires three people to interact? Like, what is the issue? Because I
I'm gonna say both,
personally
man. I'm gonna
love
say
love
both.
the idea, but I hate the phrases. I feel
Yeah.
like there could have been shorter
So
phrases for you to try and communicate to the other tribe.
like back in the day, it would be a good thing to go and find an advantage hid in a bush, right?
Right.
I think the whole idea of you found this advantage, but now you have no vote until two other people find this advantage. It's like nobody's looking for an idol after this. Why would you? Like, I don't feel like it's helping
That's a good
Xander.
that's
He
a good
went to the
question.
extra effort to like do this thing, right?
Hmm.
He put himself out there at the group gathering, and like it's like it's worse than a double-edged sword. Like,
But like we just
none of
talked about it, like who doesn't open that note? We would both make the exact same mistake that
well,
Xander did.
yes,
Maybe not
yes.
mistake, but we would have made the same call. So I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
all
the
I'm gonna say
mechanic
is
is wrong. I just hate really butterflies or dead relatives saying
all I'm
hello.
gonna
Really?
so
Come on.
here's my concern.
Okay.
Um, what season was it that we were talking about where everyone just burned the advantage, burned the clue to the idol? Was it
Oh,
34?
the blood versus water. Yeah.
Blood versus water. Okay, so all this is going to become is blood versus water again. Um, season 40 going into 41, yes, everyone would open that note. Now, any real fan that's watched this season, okay, next season, people are gonna like look at stuff they find in the bush and be like, "Pff, I'm gonna throw that in the frickin' ocean." Like,
Yeah,
why? Like,
beware advantage. Could you imagine
no,
if one of the other two tribes throws the beware advantage into the ocean?
it doesn't matter
And
now.
Xander's screwed.
Well, what if? Okay, let's say this. What if Xander gets voted out this episode? Is it now impossible for that advantage to be played?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Man, it's
That's a
um,
very good point. Yeah.
and I like, let's be clear, if you guys go back an episode and watch our podcast, like the episode before, like, I was in love with everything they did, and I'm not
Oh,
poo-pooing
I
on
know what you're
Survivor.
gonna bring up, but yeah, okay.
I'm not poo-pooing on Survivor, but
Right. You're
I
gonna
don't
talk about the fire thing.
no.
Oh,
No,
okay. Sorry, I thought you
no,
were gonna talk about the fire
no.
thing.
All I'm saying is I've really loved the twists and turns they put into the show this season. They've like, to
Hmm.
this moment, they've been solid gold. I don't know that I can pick this as like something that I really like. It's it's too intangible. It's too much of like a, you know, let's talk about, Voce, and then, him doing the math at, 16.6 repeater.
Hmm.
Okay, great. But like, let's do the math on like what are the odds that all three people from three different tribes are going to find this immunity idol, and they're all going to say the phrase at the place. Like,
I think it's
it's
gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. I just don't know who the other two people are gonna be. But I find it weird that they
yeah, but
like edited a mechanic in and they spent a whole episode talking about Xander finding one. I think 3 people are gonna say all those phrases. I'm curious as to how many other people will
I'm gonna
know what's going on, because
I'm
one
gonna
whole
go on
tribe.
record. I'm gonna go on record and say it's never gonna happen this season. The
Bold
chances
statement.
are too.
Okay.
Well, is it that bold? Like, what are the actual mathematical chances of that happening?
I
It's
just
low, bro. It's
I
low.
just don't see them editing that into, like, if it doesn't happen, then why show Xander finding it? I feel like it's a bit of a smoking gun, not a smoking gun. It's a Chekhov's gun. Have you heard about this theory
Go.
in writing? So Chekhov's gun is the whole theory of, if you
Assuming
introduce
we're not talking Star
something.
Trek.
No, it's not a Star Trek reference, but it's if you show a gun in Act 1, the gun has to be fired before Act 3. So it's like, you set something up, there has to be a payoff. There's not a lot
I,
of red herrings in
I,
literature. It's
I.
very much a, you do this, 10 chapters later, this happens.
But okay, how
Maybe
many?
not in the way you imagined, but the gun still goes off.
Sure, but like, how many seasons have we seen, like, or Survivor, where people go home with, like, well, okay, we need to move on, but like,
Okay.
um,
Before we get too sidetracked
yeah,
here.
but okay,
Um,
but I think we should adhere to, or look at the question of, like, what happened, or what would have happened. Well, whatever. Okay, we'll
okay.
get to it. Yep.
So after Xander finds the clue and explains to everyone that he has to say, well, explains to his
Over explains.
alliance.
He should have never explained. Okay, I like Xander. He should have never given away as much as he did to his teammates. He should have just given pieces of that. I think he's a
For
great
sure.
player. I really hope that he does well this season, but I do think he over trusted.
For sure. Okay. So he tells the
Just my
secret
opinion.
to Evie and Voce.
Okay.
And yeah, you're right, Drew. I do think he over explained, because that's when he explains to Voce and Evie that he doesn't have a vote. No, he says he has an extra vote because of
Yeah,
the
but
risk,
no, but
don't
he.
risk last episode.
So
He
okay.
spills all of his beans. All of
So
his beans. He
so
spills them
that's
all.
so that's one thing I'm gonna say that I thought was interesting about this episode. One, that he spills all of his beans, exactly like you said. Two, that by the end of the episode, even though, like, he was completely truthful, people, namely Tiff, were not believing what he said, and was just like,
Oh my god, I
here,
can't wait to
pray
talk about Tiff. I can't wait to
for.
talk
We'll,
about
we'll
Tiff,
get
but
there.
we
We'll get
need
there.
to
We'll get there. We'll get
we'll
there.
get there.
We'll get there.
So then after all of that, they've touched on all 3 tribes. We go
Yeah.
to the challenge.
Yep.
What was the puzzle?
It's a big turtle. The challenge was freaking
No,
painful.
no, no, the puzzle, the one, the letters minus this plus this, the
Oh, worth playing for.
playing.
Woo!
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
That one was way easier than the
It
first
was.
episode
It
one.
was. Dude,
Day
okay.
One Alliance would took me. I had to pause the screen as soon as I looked at this episode. I was like, worth playing for.
So I'm
Everyone
gonna
else
ask.
got that, right? Everyone else got that. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
That's
So just in the vein of everyone else got that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Um, I want to see. Okay. So the first episode of the season, I saw that thing. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. On the internet, I saw a shake glass. I didn't
Oh, we're
realize.
going on about
I
this
didn't realize.
again. Okay.
I know. I know. I didn't realize it was a Sunday. To me, a Sunday cup is a little bit shorter. That's just me. I would be really interested to see what people
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
in the world
Hey,
think.
hey, if you agree with Drew's wrong opinion, leave your comments in the
Because
section below.
I was, I was
I
just
mean,
twirling
he's
around
wrong,
there.
but he's okay to he's allowed
But
to say words. They can
no,
just be wrong. It's all
no,
good.
no, no. But that's the thing. I totally was wrong. But I was like twirling around in a little eddy there until me and Dave talked, and he was like, "It's a Sunday," and I'm like, "Oh," and then that unlocked
there
the
was a
whole thing for
cherry
me.
on top. There was a cherry on top.
Yeah, but okay.
That was what did it for me. Is there
How
was a
about
cherry on top.
how about this, internet? Tell me, have you never had a milkshake ever with a cherry on top? Because I've had a milkshake with a cherry on it.
Okay,
I
okay.
know.
Agree to
Okay.
disagree.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
but people out there, viewers, please weigh in, because I think
Yeah.
some people probably got caught into what I did, and some people probably were much smarter and went the way that my brother did. Um, I'm curious. I'm just curious how many people got caught up in that little that
It was
I
the
did.
picture of the sundae or the
Yeah,
milkshake, but it said minus the sun.
yeah.
Milkshake minus the sun? What? It's a
Okay,
sundae
okay.
minus.
So when you say minus the sun, that's probably a bit of a clue
Okay.
that I didn't get. That's definitely possible.
Okay. I can understand the confusion on the glass, but when it said minus the sun, I was like, okay, hold on.
But I'm
And I did a double check.
but just to see what people out there think, I am curious about. Did anyone else fall into that same pitfall, or did
I would be
you
very
know what I mean?
curious.
Yeah.
I
So
would be very
so
curious.
let us know.
So they do the challenge, and Jeff announces there's only going to be one loser this time.
Which I could see
He
coming.
brings out the secondary idol. By the
Yeah.
way, I love the way the idol looks this season. I really like it. I'm a
I'm.
huge fan.
Why are the idols missing teeth though? I don't know.
What?
The idols, they're missing teeth.
I know, but I don't understand why that's an issue. I
I
guess.
I because my brain is broken. That's why.
Gotcha. It's that uniformity you're looking for. I don't know if that was a word.
Yeah, yeah. It's mostly because I'm crazy, but yeah. Okay.
So yeah, they do the challenge. Jeff announces there's only going to be one loser. Very simple challenge. The first leg is just swimming from point A to point B. The second leg is you have to go over like a net on top of water, and
Yeah,
the third leg is the balance beam. Um,
I really want to run across one of those nets with water under it.
why did no one run across the balance beam? I'm really surprised that everyone took the cross-legged shimmy approach.
Well, I'm just
Like
gonna
no one
throw this
even
out there.
tried it. No one even tried.
Maybe it's because no one's had any carbs in 4 days, bro.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
So
that's
I
a very
mean,
good point. Yeah.
the thing I was wondering is, why are people like diving in like heroes into the water? Like, why aren't people like?
Wait, what? That was the okay. No, continue. I'm
Well,
curious.
so like we were saying before, like I'm a tradesperson. I go site to site fixing people's problems in their homes, and if I work late one day and I skip dinner and I go to bed because I'm tired, and I get up the next day and I like I go to people's houses, like I want to be polite. I'm not going to use your bathroom. I'm going to you know drive a couple blocks
For
to
sure.
Starbucks, etc., right? um you know, like add up a day and a half of that, and I legit hit a wall. Like I was honestly, this season I was really surprised. I'm like, really, no rice? Like not even a just a little. No, okay.
Not even a challenge that lets you get rice. Not even a like if people
Right
said
in the
instead of
early
protect
days.
or risk your vote, if it was rice or no rice, you go back to your tribe and explain why you don't have rice in your hand. That would have been better to me.
So you know, it's pretty cutthroat this season. And
Yeah.
I like that, but it's harsh. Um, I I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that Tiff was the only one that kind of seemed out of gas.
Right. Okay.
This, but
So just to not like before we say what happened,
sure,
um so after the third leg, after the balance beam, you had to do a puzzle like a giant turtle.
yeah.
And
Nobody missed a puzzle piece this week, by the way, guys. We're good.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing forgotten in the bag. Yeah, yeah. But so Tiffany on, oh, what tribe is she on?
Yellow.
Yeah, Yasa.
Yes.
So
Yes, queen.
but
I
she
like that better.
wasn't she was only the fourth person to go. There was I can't remember her name, but there was someone behind her. But even Jeff starts going, "Come on, do it." And it reminded me of Suri in a previous season where
Sure.
everyone was like don't give up. There's an importance of always trying, and they're
Yeah.
trying to create a positive message for sure. But in that moment, when Tiffany is on the balancing beam and she's just like, I can't do it. I can't. And it's like, seriously?
So, yeah, okay. So that's the thing. And I was watching it, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, seriously? Come on, man. Like when I was a kid, like I was in
Like
Army cadets, like
Brad
I
made
was
it across.
I
Brad,
was like
like, come on.
I was always taught, in school, track and field, like you're running, it sucks, it doesn't feel good. The best thing you can do is just keep
Oh
pushing.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Finish is important
Just
than
just
results. Yeah.
just one foot in front of the other. And I was
Yeah.
really surprised that, like I mean, let's be real, like we get to a point in the challenge and Tiff stalls out. Like that's the TSN turning point of this challenge. It is. It is.
No, no, no. I just
And
like that reference. Never mind.
and you know, in my brain, I'm thinking, man, like just try, just inch forward, like just go a little inchworm, anything you can do to show your earnestness, right?
Hmm.
But like I said, we're talking day 4 and 5 without any sustenance. Um, man, I hit a wall in about like under 24 hours without eating, dude. And I like, I lift some
Yeah.
heavy stuff, but
Yeah, I got
but
you.
I but I don't do swimming cardio for work like they're doing in this challenge.
Well,
You
yeah.
know,
I
I don't,
and
I
I
don't. And I'm like, so here's the other thing: if you're completely out of energy just to dive into the ocean, it's a little bit of a frightening proposition
you
because it's
sort
like,
of fall into the ocean,
well,
maybe.
it's you want to succeed, but it's like, what if your body fails you, and what if you drown? Like,
Mm.
trust me, man. Like over 40, that's a very real thing. Like that
Oh,
could
okay,
happen.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, no,
and
no, that's fair, that's fair.
and so like I really felt this strong dichotomy where I was like, on one hand, in my brain, I'm like, what the F are you doing, Tiff? You just got to push. You you cannot afford to slow down right now. And
Right.
on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, 4 days without food. I'm surprised you got this far. Do you know?
Gotcha, okay,
So
okay,
like,
okay.
you know,
That's fair.
and and
It's a good
I
argument for
I
either side,
I
yeah.
feel like the editing, they kind of threw her under the bus because she was the only one that was like, yeah, man, I'm bagged. I'm on energy. Like no food for a couple days. Like I'm not feeling great.
Well,
And
thank God her teammate was the last, relay. She
sure, definitely.
crushed it.
So,
Like,
okay,
it seemed like Tiff cost a lot of time, but it got caught up pretty quickly.
so I'm just gonna say this, and I may
Yeah.
be wrong. I may be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong on this internet. But
Right. So we're just about to say who wins, but Drew, what?
there's part of my heart, 35, 40%, maybe 45%, where I feel like they planned to not win this challenge because the members on yellow had an agenda. Uh, now, I know that's a bold statement, but
So here's my only argument against that. You could be right, but every time a tribe in the past 40 seasons have decided to do it, or a player has decided to
sure,
purposely
sure.
suck, it's it's been a storyline.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like,
If they did throw the
what was
challenge,
what was
then
the
why
last season
not
we
show
watched
it
Coach
on?
in? What was the last season we watched Coach in? Because
We're
I'm gonna
talking
tell you,
about Coach and Cochran. That was
yep,
and Dawn.
30-31.
That was Yeah, 31. I wanted maybe 32, but yeah.
So, the last 3 episodes, they gave Coach a very different look. I'm
Mm,
Now, here's the other thing I'm gonna say. This season, they are, and I'm sound like a broken record here, but they're turning a lot of stuff on its ear and kind of trying to reinvent the game, like the whole idea of like a new era, the first episode. And I
drop the
really
4, keep the 1. Yep.
right? So I think they're really trying to keep the tradition alive, but also inject some new stuff into it. I'm honestly, man, I'm not gonna put money on any past Survivor sort of traditions because I feel like this season, if any season, they're gonna maybe turn some of this stuff around,
Well, that's
and
what
you're gonna think
actually
one thing, and they're gonna go, nope. How about this?
well,
Ta-da! And
that
I
is
and I'm
that
excited for that.
is
I think that's good. I'm just saying I don't think we can, and maybe I'm wrong. And also, internet, if you guys want to weigh in on this, and if you agree with me or if you agree with my brother, no, that way. But like
yeah.
like
Oh,
Xander
nope,
said it
wrong
this
way.
Xander said it this episode, like, and I think he's right. I don't think anybody, viewer or contestant alike, can really expect this season to be like other seasons. I think there's new underlying game rules. I think they're trying to really revamp things, and I mean, anyways, yeah. Well, let's
Well,
keep moving. But
that's
yeah,
actually the thing that most interests me. Like it's a big thing with this podcast is you're a new Survivor fan
I
and
am
I'm an old Survivor fan. So it
absolutely.
is kind of interesting that we have difference of opinions on new mechanics, old mechanics. Like it's there's a lot of different viewpoints and I am because I don't I wish I could like Men in Black wipe my memory and just watch Survivor episode 1 all over
Yep,
again.
yep,
Like I don't know if my opinion would be the same 20 years later.
yep.
So it is kind of interesting.
It's very interesting.
So
And
Luvu wins immunity. They're the first ones to complete the puzzle.
yep, blue.
Um the losers are Yasa.
Yes.
Ugh,
I
okay.
just want to call them Yes Queen.
So
Sorry,
one thing
I
I
don't know
did
why.
want to mention, yes, nice,
Yes
nice. I
Queen.
like that. I like that. I like
I
that.
Yeah.
But so after the challenge, Jeff explains, oh, there was rewards actually built into this challenge. Do you
Fishing
remember what the
gear
rewards
awesome.
are?
Fishing
Fishing
gear
gear,
awesome, and fishing gear less awesome.
fishing gear, and fishing gear light. Yeah, yeah. But at the end of the challenge, Jeff just goes, "Yeah, okay, swim back." And like I was waiting for the cop
Oh my
the
gosh.
chopper shot to like zoom out, and I'm like,
And
after that
that's
challenge, they have to swim like 100 more meters.
and so
Man, that
that's
sucks.
and so that's what I think is completely savage about this season is, like I said, I hit a wall within 48 hours without food. We're talking 4 days, and we just asked a bunch of people to do legit cardio, swing,
Yeah,
like what was, well, I mean,
every
we're talking
challenge is
we're
cardio.
we're
Every
gonna,
challenge is cardio.
I'm gonna bring up Austin, but didn't Austin have to like get lifeguarded out of the water? Who had to get lifeguarded out of the water because they were
I
like
don't remember that. What
okay,
season was that?
Austin,
Austin?
yeah, 7. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I think it was, yeah, it was with Rupert and Savage, but
Oh, okay, okay. I
like
know what season
all
you're
I,
talking about.
all I,
Yeah,
all I'm saying is with the amount of effort that these players are putting in, with the low amount of sustenance they've been given, it is more epic than any other season. The amount of effort they're putting in, like, okay,
yeah, that's fair.
so let's be real. Like Tiff hit a wall in the challenge, right? The player that came behind her was like guns blazing, and really. I think you kind of need to be a little bit of a lean build, you know, distance track star kind of runner to survive this year. Like, um, you know, and I was like watching Tiff do her thing, and I was like, just, and maybe it was
I
the editing.
understand,
Maybe
like,
they
it's
just
not
took
a
shots that were unflattering, but I'm like, you know, if it was me, like I would never want to appear to my teammates that I was doing anything less than trying at all times. Do you know?
for sure. Yep,
But,
I get that.
you know, anyways,
But
okay.
like Sandra won twice. She's not running a marathon tomorrow. Like it's just sort of like can you overcome
But
those
did but did
misconceptions by your teammates? Like and
well,
hold on before we get into a giant discussion.
sure.
Um so Tiff's team loses. They don't get
They
an
do.
idol.
They
They head
do.
back to camp.
Yeah.
And what is the argument
Well,
made by Xander and Voce?
before they get back to camp, after the challenge is done,
You know,
the winning team has to pick two members,
that's right.
and they go back and they go
Forgot.
back and they do the mechanic that you slightly hate and I'm learning to hate.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
You're
So
right. You're right.
listen.
I forgot to talk about how much I hate this mechanic. So in the first episode, they made a summit where all three characters, it was Danny, JD, and Sugar, I can't remember the third person. But if
Oh, the
this
football
happens,
player, Xander, JD, and the football player.
oh, Xander, the football player's name's Danny.
Oh,
Danny,
Xander was there.
Xander,
Xander was there.
Xander, JD,
Xander was
and
there.
okay.
Was it Xander the
So
first time?
yeah, it was
Okay.
Xander, JD, and Danny. Danny's the
Okay.
football player.
Okay.
Um, and so there, the winning tribe gets, and this is interesting how Jeff sort of
Yeah.
funnels information
Yeah. I'm
through a
gonna look this up
certain
though. I'm
filter.
gonna look this up because I've got this. Because
So
I was like
so
after
he
last time we
asks
talked about it. Yeah.
he asks Luvu who should go to this same summit, and they chose Evie.
Okay.
And then Deshaun is asked, you can either choose from the other losing tribe or your own tribe. And he immediately raises his hand. Like, I'll go, just because he wants to know, which I kind of
Yeah.
don't think is a bad call. At the
No,
time,
I think
I
it was
would have
smart.
made the same
I
thing.
think it was smart too. But so to break it down, because we talked about this last week and
Yeah.
it's a new mechanic, and I think both of us were a little bit hazy. So here's how it goes. If all the players choose to protect their vote, nothing changes. All players stay the same, nothing lost, nothing gained. Okay. If
Hmm.
all players, all the people sent to the summit, choose to risk their vote, then all players lose their vote at the next tribal council. Just so if everyone tries to play loose and fast, hot and whatever, hot and sexy, whatever you want to call it, nobody gets. So basically, in order for anyone at this post challenge summit, for anyone to
Yeah.
get any advantage, someone has to bend the knee, which I think is an important mechanic to talk about. So
That's
someone
true.
has to be
That's true.
someone, and so the first time there were three players that went, but this time it was obvious, right? She
Yep.
was like, just to let you know, bro, I'm gonna bend the knee, I'm gonna protect my vote. We already, and I'm not sure how I feel about how them getting sent into the situation. They already kind of know the mechanic, like
Me
like
too. Me
like we
too.
were talking about it and you're like, oh, is this really a thing? Like, um it's like now it's a mechanic that's predictable. Like if they do this next week, like no shade, but it's like
If they
now the
do this next
players,
week, I'm gonna be so upset. So
well
upset.
they probably will, but now it's like there's another layer now, because now it's like, who are we sending? And um like I really hope
I'm waiting
next
for it to get interesting.
I
That's what I'm
really
waiting
hope
for.
that next episode that teams are already thinking about who are they going to send to the summit and
Mm-hmm.
how are they going to play it? Because if you got two people going and one person's like, I'm definitely going to protect my vote, right? Because here's the thing, you got two people going,
Mm-hmm.
both players are not going to risk their vote because then they come away with nothing. So one person kind of has to bend the knee and be like, all right, I'm going to give you the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, it's a big advantage to give. Do you
It's a
know?
big advantage to give. I am mostly surprised with the level, like, and I don't want to start a huge conversation because oh my god, we've been talking for almost an hour.
I know. I knew this was going to be a long one. So,
But yeah, like you said, if they do this next week, I'm going to be very upset. Now, that being said, if they do this next week and players plan
you're also going to be
accordingly,
happy.
it could be intriguing to me.
Well, so here's the other half. So, players who choose to protect your vote remain the same. Nothing lost, nothing gained. Players who choose to risk your vote receive an extra vote. But you have to be like, so no matter who gets sent to the summit, one player has to bend the knee and be like, I'm going to protect in order
Yeah.
for any other player to gain an advantage.
Yeah.
If
It's
everyone goes for
like
the
I said last
advantage,
week, it's the
then it's like
prisoner's
craps in the
dilemma.
bucket.
No, but it's the prisoner's dilemma. It's like a philosophy sort of question, like crossing a river with a bag of chicken feed, a chicken and a
Yeah,
wolf, and you can only make
but
so
isn't
many trips.
but
It's one of those things where there's a lot of rules.
but isn't the walk up the mountain going to be such a loaded conversation next week, right? Because
Mm.
now they've done it once, right? They all came back to camp. They had to sell the story, right? Now it's happened again. Now, okay, wait. Who went? It was winning tribe, losing tribe. So Green,
Evie and Deshaun.
so Ua doesn't really have the same confirmation that it's the same game every time.
No,
Ua
that's
doesn't
right.
have that.
Uwa only knows what Danny has told them.
Right. But Luba and Yas Queen,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I can't
No,
stop.
no.
I apologize.
Make it a thing. I love it.
They know 100%. They know Hundy P now,
Well,
right?
they think they do.
Well, I
Right?
mean,
Last episode, people were like, is this person telling the truth? Is
what are
Xander really
yeah, but
being honest? And now at least Evie knows Xander was being honest about the
yeah,
story.
but when she
But
came back, she
Shan
was like,
doesn't know.
no, but when she comes back to Tribe, she's like, yeah, it was exactly what you said, bro. And there were no side bars of somebody being like, nah, I think this is still bullshit. I don't trust her. It was like,
Okay, so
it seems like a given now. Do you know what I mean?
just to
Now that
keep
they've
us
done the same
on
mechanic. Yeah, okay.
right,
Sorry.
but just
Go
to
ahead.
keep us on task,
Hmm.
Evie and Deshaun had to do the same trek up the mountain. I'm really curious as to how long it takes because they both
Also,
seem
no
out of
rice.
gas by the time to get to the top.
Also no rice, so
Right.
it's like a bonus, but it's also like a little bit of a punishment. Like, man, I gotta walk up this mountain after the challenge, after the, do you know, and I haven't eaten in 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, and they're talking about it on the way up. They're like, this is probably the hardest season of Survivor yet, and I would say yes, it is. And I don't know, man. I
So they both get to
Jeff,
the top.
please,
Evie the
me to
whole
you,
time.
give them some rice. For real.
I hope they don't. No rice. Screw them.
Savage. No,
It's gonna be so much more entertaining if they
I'm
never get rice.
I'm pro
It would be
rice.
the
I'm pro
first
rice.
season ever of Survivor where no survivor got rice. If that's it could be that big a deal. That's kind of what I think. Okay. So they both get to the top, they get to know each other.
Yeah.
Evie immediately
She's
says,
like, I'm gonna protect my vote.
I'm gonna protect my vote because she
Which is
has
kind
to.
of, yeah, she has to. But then it's kind of like it's like an automatic advantage for the, like, I'm not sure how in
She
love with
could
this
have
mechanic.
risked her vote. She could have risked her vote. She
Right.
just didn't, but she could have.
For what though? So she's just gonna take away her vote to take away his? He's not voting.
I'm just saying there was two
No,
options.
no. Okay,
One was smarter than
wait.
the other, but both
Okay,
were possible, like
I,
Schrodinger's cat. You know what I
I.
mean?
Well, okay. Hold on. Take the Schrodinger's because I think the Schrodinger's cat is it's confusing things. Tell me the logic as to why she would risk her vote in that situation. Give me,
Oh,
give
that's a
me
good
any
point.
reason why she would. Because I don't think there's many reasons. I think it's a very small. I don't
Getting
think.
an extra vote isn't worth it?
Well, right, but she's on the losing team. He's on the winning team. He
Right.
has like. There's no reason for him to not risk his vote
Oh no, for sure. Him.
because he's
Yeah,
not
okay.
voting.
Okay. Okay. I
Like,
gotcha.
we kind of know that at that point, like this is the yellow team, right? Yeah, right. Yas Queen. They've
Yeah.
come to a vote once before. They're coming to a vote again. He knows that she's going to have to vote. He knows that she's not going to want to give up her vote. Like it's it's almost it's almost an unfair advantage that he's been given by the game mechanics because people don't know how the new season works.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can definitely see that argument. I guess just if Evie was in a different place in her tribe, she could have made a different decision. Like it wasn't it was only clear cut because of the way the video or the episode was edited.
I mean, honestly, man, I think Evie is probably in the best position out of all of her tribe mates, and
Oh,
even
okay.
oh, wow, okay, maybe we disagree on it. I'm surprised that you sound surprised on that, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not an
she's
Evie fan. I'm not an Evie fan. Sorry.
I kind of am. I kind of am. I would at this point. I know we picked our favorites. Um,
I think Evie is pulling a Cochrane right now. That's what
I'm
I
gonna
think Evie's doing. I
yeah,
think Evie
and
is
for that
accidentally pulling a Cochrane,
and for
and
that reason,
I'm annoyed.
I'm gonna say she has a chance of winning. I said it.
Okay,
There, I
okay,
said it.
fair
I
enough.
said it. I
So they
I
both
think she
come
has a
down
chance to
from the
win.
mountain. Deshaun risks his vote. Evie doesn't,
Well,
and
Evie gave him the advantage to curry favor with him. Let's be clear.
and then
Let's be
well,
clear. And also, she told him how the group immunity idol works, right? She would
yeah.
like because there was that little sidebar with her where she's like, I want to curry favor with him, but I don't want to give him too many of the important secrets, but I'm gonna give him enough to curry trust with him. So she told him how the group immunity idol works, right? She let him know that they were probably going to try and get rid of Xander. Now,
I liked where she was like, I'm not going to tell any of my secrets, but I'll tell Xander's secrets.
yes, yeah,
Like
again,
there's
which
some
is very
cards I'm gonna
smart.
play close to my chest, but yeah, everyone knows I'm holding a 4, like because that's this other guy's card. Smart,
I,
smart.
I could be wrong, but I'm gonna give that lady chances on winning. Just saying.
I'm still not sure how I feel about Evie.
I'm getting
I
I'm
think
getting
she has
strong
a
Sander
chance,
vibes.
but
Strong Sander vibes.
I love Xander. Love Xander.
No,
Anyway.
Sandra.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
She's like, remember we talked about it last episode, right? Where she was like, never mind. We'll move on. But I'm just saying, um, if I
Well,
could put money on that particular player horse, I don't want to. She's not a horse. She's a human being. But
right.
if I could put money on that particular racehorse, I don't know. I'm favoring her at this
So
moment.
so after the challenge, it essentially and after the summit, it essentially boils down to Yasatrat, Yas Queen, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Fair enough.
and it comes down to Xander and Voce thinking Evie's on their side, and Evie is on the side of Tiffany and oh, what what was that other?
Evie's playing both sides, which I love on this. Um, I was surprised at how
Liana.
this.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how this vote went. Um, and okay,
Well,
so
hold on. We're essentially the vibe back at camp is because Evie's been away doing her long hike.
yeah,
The two boys, Voce
Xander.
and Xander, are trying to decide if Liana or Tiffany are going to go. They think
Yeah,
Tiffany is a liability, but
we all
what
know
they don't know is
we
that
all know Tiffany's
Evie.
a liability. Let's be real, she is,
Well,
dude. If you can't push, like, like, okay.
I
Here's the
think
thing.
liability is in the eye of the beholder.
No, man. Here's the thing.
She's who I would
If
vote out, but Sandra won twice, and Sandra's not a challenge beast. So
that's
I don't
that's fine.
think.
Okay.
I
All
just
I'm
don't
saying
think.
is, if the women on Yasa
Yeah.
at this point didn't have an agenda to try and force a vote to get rid of Xander, take him out because he'd given away the fact that he had an advantage. Okay,
Hmm.
if that wasn't their game, then Tiffany just messed up,
Tiffany would be gone. You're right.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she
Good point. Good point.
and she is a liability, and yeah. Once we get to tribal, I've got comments, but we'll go as the flow goes.
Oh my god. So yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said. So
Okay.
Voce and Xander are trying to push Tiffany as the object,
Yep.
and Tiffany, Liana, and Evie, as soon as Evie gets back to camp, start trying to push one of the two guys.
Right.
And this is and I don't want to get to too much talking about this, but oh
Well,
my
maybe we
god, I
can.
hate Tiffany. Oh my god, I hate Tiffany.
Okay. What bugged me the most this episode about Tiffany, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sorry, Tiffany, if you ever see this podcast, but the amount, and I guess in a way, I get it. You gotta focus your energy, but just the whole like her panic with like Evie told her how the advantage worked with Xander. She
Hmm.
gave her the intel, like, so Xander effed up. He gave the intel to Evie. Evie was honest with Tiff about it, and Tiff just and I guess that's the survivor paranoia, but she was like, "What about butterflies being purple and stuff?" And she just like there was clear a couple
Yeah.
times she wasn't listening, she didn't understand it,
I was
and
so curious. I'm like, purple?
now
I paused the episode and rewound it. I'm like, who said anything about purple?
so
It was one of the other statements another tribe had to make. And
so yes, if you're on the bottom, you got to scramble, and you just got to really point the finger at somebody else. But it it really kind of highlighted the desperation and
yeah.
almost the purity of the game of like, you know, because everyone's like, yeah, his idol doesn't work right now, and she's like, no, but what if it does? And everyone's like, yeah, it doesn't work right now, and she's like, no,
But what
but
if it
if it
does?
does, and
Yeah.
and I feel like even though Sarah got turfed first episode,
Hmm.
she wasn't wrong when she was like, WTF, dude, why did you come back from the group challenge with no rice? Why shouldn't we be completely sus of what you're telling us right now?
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
I honestly, as much as I'm not in love with Tiff right now, I think she's probably a really strong player too. Like, cause she's just like, cause she
What?
was cause she was playing game, right? And she was, and the one thing and I really,
I don't think
and maybe
anything
this is
Tiff
the
did
edit.
in this episode was purposeful. I don't think she's the smartest player in the game.
I think she did. I'm gonna au contraire, mon frere.
Did she purposely screw up the challenge? Did she purposely go crazy before tribal and be like, I don't understand how this guy's idols work, even though it was explained to me by everybody. Like
So I'm gonna be straight with you at this
if
point
she's
with the
playing
editing. I
everyone else
don't
on her
know.
tribe, I am surprised.
I don't think she's playing everyone else. I don't think she's playing that well. But you know, her scrambling of like when people are like, no, it's good. His idol doesn't even work yet. He doesn't have a vote. They
Yeah.
were telling her the truth, and she was still playing her best game. She was still like,
Oh,
yeah,
I
well,
think.
I don't know if that's the truth or not. Let's. She every time somebody said something, she was like, okay, but let's pretend it is active. Let's pretend he does have that
But
advantage.
that's an invalid
Now,
argument.
well, but is it or is it not? This
No,
whole
it's the
season is new,
equivalent of saying, "Oh, if my phone drops to the counter, it'll break." And people were like, "Well, what if it didn't?" I don't know. It's a 10-foot drop. There's no protective case. Like, it's probably going to crack the screen a little bit.
right?
And she's like, "But what if it didn't?" And it's like, but like the percentage you're trying to plan for is so minuscule, in my opinion.
Well, so I mean,
She's
I
planning
think
for the 2% chance that her worst fears come true and not banking on the 98% chance everyone
sure,
else is
right.
telling the truth.
And I get you, and I totally am with you. But if you drop your phone, is the chance that it's going to get damaged really 2%? Even if you got a really badass phone case, do you know?
Okay,
It's not
well, I
2%.
don't.
And also, when you're playing for $1 million, can you really afford to bank on that? You know, assuredness of like, nah, 95% it's going to be okay. You got to
Mhm,
be, you
that's a good
know,
point.
if you're playing Survivor and you're playing for $1 million and you want to be the new queen, the new king, you want to be
Mhm.
the sole survivor, like heart to heart, like, would you really just be like, yeah, the odds are in my favor. I'm not going to try anymore. I'm going to go back to
I
camp and have a
mean,
nap. You wouldn't,
if I'm being completely honest, I might. I might.
because I mean, I and I
Like
don't know where this.
there's times to do nothing and there's times to do something, and I feel like I would balance like there's times where I would be like, yeah, I'll just take a nap.
I
Like it'll all sort itself out. I'm safe. Like
honestly,
that's
I don't.
maybe the way I play. That's just me. Just me.
Honestly, I don't know where this fits in with episode flow because we've been going on for a bit, but that's
Oh
okay
yeah, a
because
little
that's
bit,
that.
eh?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Um, Brad was napping. I'm like, man, this early in the game, I would not be caught napping. No,
Technically,
no.
he was napping slash running down the beach and back, and then he napped. So he was
Fair.
just like, it's not like Brad did nothing this episode.
No,
He
no, definitely
exerted a
not.
lot of energy on
But
zero rice, and it worked.
but
Like,
like but it's the appearance though. Like I would never pull a Shamar. Do you know what I mean? I would never
mm,
I would never look like, even if I knew what the vote was going to be, I would never act at camp like I was comfortable. Like I would never act like
oh,
I
I
was
gotcha.
safe.
I gotcha.
Do
Okay.
you know? And I feel like that, feeling like you're safe is, well, I mean, I guess they're not voting anybody out that night, so I guess it's different, but it's like, I
Yeah.
thought the napping was a little bit, I don't know.
I
It
know.
stood
Okay.
out for me. It
So
stood out for
so before just to bring us back on track
me.
here,
Yeah.
then we go to tribal. Yas Queen goes to tribal.
Yasa. Yeah.
What'd you think about tribal? Because Jeff immediately calls out
So
Tiffany.
so I want to ask this, like, uh oh, what was the comment now? Okay, hold on. Let's get into it, cuz so I know that the show has editing. Um
Right.
but
Because
there's sometimes when Jeff is questioning contestants, I want to stick my hand up like I'm an episode of Law and Order and be like, "Objection, Your Honor, leading the witness." Like, like there's
yeah, yeah. I've had that same thought so many times. I'm like, oh my god, it's like Jeff's at all three camps, and it's like, well, hold on, he gets all the
but
same
he
feeds,
he
obviously. Like,
is he
he
is
knows.
but I wonder, like, sometimes I wish that, like, the questions that got thrown at the contestants at
Weren't
tribal,
so like poignant.
yeah, because it's very like, well, let's talk about you. So, like the
Hey,
whole,
you screwed up today. Let's talk about that. Yeah, okay, Jeff. Yeah, I know I screwed up. Yada yada.
well,
Like
okay,
I get that.
yeah, and so
Hey,
maybe,
you look different than everyone else. Does that affect you and your tribe? Thanks, Jeff. I know. I know. Like, he's not subtle.
Like
Jeff's middle name is not subtle.
like
100%. Yeah.
like so that's the thing. If I'm ever gonna play Survivor, I'm gonna have to be prepared to play against the other players and Jeff. Do you
But
know what
here's
I
the
mean?
thing, exactly.
Right?
But Jeff also has a thing, like even last episode, Jeff is like, "Oh, that's such a survivor answer." He said a whole lot of words, or he said
Right?
nothing, but he said a whole lot of words. Jeff
Objection, Your Honor, leading the
Jeff
witness. Like
Jeff
like it's
cuts
like it's
through it every time.
yeah,
You
but
can give a political answer like you're running for president and not trying to make
but
any
it's
enemies,
but
and
it's
Jeff will point it out. You could be 100% honest about I hate this person. Jeff will call it out
but is
every time.
but is that not like playing a game of like 5 card stud poker and the dealer's like, yeah, I don't think he has it, bro. I think he's bluffing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
It's like it's a little bit like if we're gonna purely let those people like one of my favorite things about this episode actually was um some of the contestants being like, yeah, man, like I've watched this show a bunch of times. Like I know how it's done. And now that I'm in it, I have no idea what's going on, dude. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, true.
you know,
Yeah.
and so sometimes I wonder about that. I would, one of the things I said about like that I loved about the opening episode was like the behind the scenes shot where you see everything that goes into making the show.
Yeah,
I
there's a
just
hundred other people on the beach during a
sure
challenge too that you'd never notice.
I'd
Yeah.
like I'd love to see the 110 questions that you know that
Oh,
team get asked before they get voted. Before they vote. Before
apparently
and
tribal
I know they have
council
their
is like an hour long. They edit it down to
yeah
like 8 minutes.
yeah. So that's what I mean. Like the 8 minutes that you see, it seems like very leading directed questions. And I mean, I guess really in the end, um, you know, if I was playing the game, I would hope that when I showed up, the people beside me that I'd chosen to like throw my chips in with and vote with, regardless of what Jeff says to us or what he
Mhm.
tries to get out of us, we're going to vote the way that we're going to vote. Right. But, you know, first episode, are we doing live travel? We doing this? We doing this? Yeah. Okay. We're doing this. Yeah. Okay. So, we know that it can get so, and I don't know if I just, yeah, there's sometimes I'm like, oh man, like, should you
So
ask those questions? And
so do
I
you
am a
disagree
newer
with
fan.
Jeff's questioning? He immediately singles out Tiffany, being like, "Hey, you suck today." And here's a tiny thing I kind of
He
liked
didn't need to single
before
her out though, but
everyone jumps into tribal, Jeff talks to camera for the first time. He
yes,
goes, "Hey, they're about to
and
get here
he's
for
whispering.
tribal." And it's like it's alliances, or is it do you suck at challenges? Let's find out. And I was like,
Well,
"What? What?"
he was like, this could get pretty crazy. They're just rolling up. Let's do
But
this.
he's totally
I like that.
right. It's did the girls alliance win over how much Tiffany sucked, essentially.
So I would like I would like to see more of Jeff. That sidebar, like, okay, here's what could be up, and then go into him ask some general questions, some
Mm,
controlled
okay.
experiment question. Because, like, I don't know, I would rather see how the players play the game than the producers edit that interaction.
Right, right. You want it to feel more natural than
Well,
produced, or
I wanna, like,
you want to be spoon-fed a narrative.
yeah, I wanna feel like I'm, like, we talked about this, a season and a half ago of the podcast, but I'd love to see every minute of footage and
Oh,
then
me too.
y-
Me
you
too,
know
dude. Yeah.
to actually try and or to actually try and be in a player's shoes and not really know what everybody else is thinking. Like, yeah, to
Gotcha.
be
Yeah.
the spoon fed sometimes is like I um I mean, the vote was a little bit of a surprise this episode, but it it
Uh-huh.
seemed like it was kind of a little bit predestined. I
Well,
almost
hold
feel
on.
like
I
it was
kind
kind
of
of
I kind of feel like I didn't know who was going home till the end.
no, that's what I mean.
They kept showing shots of Evie the whole time during Tribal Council where it's like, is she going to do the Women's Alliance or is she going to vote out Xander?
Yep,
And that's what I thought because Xander had 0 vote. He was a sitting duck, and Jeff's asking the questions, and it seemed to boil down to keeping an alliance or keeping the tribe strong, like classic Survivor A versus B strategy.
sure.
And I was very surprised at who went home.
But like
Voce. I am shocked that Evie decided to go alliance strong.
so I feel like the one question where it was like, did you actually do the math on like what the 1/6 thing? Like,
Yeah,
did you actually
we get a little Voce backstory where he talks about his mom and his life, and he's like, yeah, I'm a smart guy. I didn't used to be smart, but now I am. So I am.
I mean, I'm not perfect. Like I don't know, I'm not dumb, but like I couldn't do that math in my head. Like I almost felt like the whole and that was
Oh,
one of the
the
times.
whole him figuring out the percentage made him smarter, made him sound smarter than he actually is, maybe?
Well, I mean, is that is that calling attention to a player? Like where's the line between the game that players are playing and the game that Jeff is playing?
Interesting. Okay. No,
And
no, I can see where you're coming from.
I
Yeah.
know that may be controversial, but like, um, does that affect the game when you call out a player like, "Oh, you could do that math in your head, huh? Wow,
Yeah,
that's you must
but
be pretty smart." Like,
again,
isn't
he
that
might have like maybe Xander also knew that percentage and they just didn't edit that into an episode. Maybe you know what I mean? Like
absolutely?
it's a narrative pushed by the show. So yeah, it seemed like Voce was singled out for his intelligence, but that doesn't mean everyone else is dumb. It just means that's the narrative they went with that episode.
No, definitely. But I just, I'd be interested to know what it was pure without the narrative. I guess
Yeah, me too. Me too.
as a newer fan, but I know that would be an immense amount of work. And like again, like no shade. Like this season is, we've talked about it like countless times in the last week since we filmed the last podcast. I'm
Mhm.
so excited about this season. I'm amped about it. I think it's probably the best one I've ever watched, and I know I haven't watched all of them, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see episode 3. Um, and I can't wait to
One
talk about it more. Like, there's so much here, but there
one
is a lot
quick
there.
question I
Hmm.
want to leave you with.
Hmm.
What tribe do you think is going to go to tribal council next week? I know. I'm gonna say Uwa because I think JD, Shan, Brad would be fantastic to see at a tribal council. That's not that I hope one of them goes home, but I think it would be a more entertaining tribal council.
I
Right?
think
The last time it was a live tribal. Bring him back.
so.
Do it again.
So I
A
think the losing.
sequel.
I think the losing. And so here's the thing: like, we don't even know when a merge or a switch is coming. But
That's right. Yeah,
we
good
don't.
point.
We don't.
Yeah.
I think the losing tribe next week is going to be between Yasa and who is the tribe that won the low end fishing. Like, it's like right now it
Oh,
really comes
Ua won the fishing light kit.
fishing light.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Uwa won the fishing light kit, but maybe they suck at fishing in the next couple days. Like, I
Oh, that's a good
really,
point. That's a
I,
good point. Yeah.
I really think the losing team next week is going to come down to sustenance and morale. Like, we're talking
That's a very good
like
point. Yeah.
this episode was days 4 and 5. So what's next episode going to be 6 and 7?
Maybe 6, 7, and 8, but at least 2 days. Yeah.
I'm telling you, 6, 7, 8 without any sustenance, they're going to be a
Without
bad time.
any, that's a
They're going to
good
be a
point.
bad time. They're
I
going to be
never
a
even
bad
thought
time.
about it that way. You're 100% right. You're gonna start seeing some empty stomachs next episode. There's gonna be
They're
a
all right.
lot of talking heads where people are gonna be like, "I'm starving.
Yeah,
I haven't had any
yeah,
food. I'm so starving." Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna happen, dude.
yeah, yeah. There won't be the. I don't see the tropical rainstorms. People with like the rotting feet this year, right? But
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Xander even mentioned it rained before he gave the butterflies line. And I was like, what? It rained last night? No one mentioned that until you just said that right now. Like, what? Okay. Like normally the weather conditions are such a like a
A
like a
factor.
focus.
Yep.
And the fact that it rained and they just like they fast forwarded through building shelters. They fast forwarded through a lot of stuff. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
Brad was
What is all there?
one of the only people I saw kind of puttering with it this episode, but I know it couldn't just be him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Voce got voted out. Um, you know what his first do you know what his name is? It's not Voce.
Oh no, I don't know
Voce
what
is
it is.
his last name.
Oh, what's his first name?
David. My
Damn.
name.
I'm
I
I,
personally hate it whenever anyone named Dave or David gets voted as a survivor. It's a
I'm
pet peeve of mine.
I'm annoyed that he got voted out because he saw the trap of the whole thing with him and Xander like filling the buckets right away. He was
But
like
he
he was
also
like,
like
"Man, I'm gonna be an idiot running up and down the beach." Um, I think I think he was a smart player. I mean, yeah, he probably got eliminated because he's a smart player, but I really think that he had the intellectual chops to go through it, and I'm minor bummed that he got cut off, but
oh,
I
I'm super
understand why he
bummed.
did, but
But did you see
I
his
liked him as a
talking
player.
head at the end of the episode where he tries to be like why did I go home? And he essentially made the mistake of picking an alliance early that obviously he couldn't trust. But he realized he's like, I've got two friends, that's all I need. Boom. I'm good. And it's like Shan,
Yeah,
for example, on a different tribe, is like we mentioned the last episode, where she's part of every conversation.
yeah.
And Voce seemed like he chose his side and
He did
just
mention
sticked
that
with it.
he hadn't worked hard enough on his social game and making
Yeah.
contacts with everyone he was in contact with, but I just I really liked his insight early on. Like, yeah, man,
Oh,
this
me too. Me too. I loved him.
filling the barrels of seawater is a fool's errand. Can't believe I'm doing it, but what do I do? And
Yeah, it's the exact same thought I would have had. I'm like,
yeah,
boom, we're on the same page. And yet, when he said after he got voted out, like, oh, I didn't build relationships, I'm like, oh, yeah, you didn't. Hmm.
yeah, but
Like,
I mean,
I'm not going to lie. I
this
might
season's
make the
moving so
same.
fast.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, how does anyone have time for that? Like, you really have to, man. You gotta like. I feel
I
like
don't
you
know.
need a
Shan is
notepad,
making
a
time.
pencil, and a day planner.
Shan's making it work. Like Nasir seems to be making it work. Like it's
Definitely.
not like a oh, it's not enough time to play that way. There's people
Oh no, there's enough
that are
time,
getting stuff done, and
but
some people just use their time better than others.
I feel well. That's the thing. I was just gonna say. I feel like you need a day planner to play well this season. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be like, yeah, 8 o'clock. You know, have a bath with so and so
No,
on the beach.
that
9 o'clock,
makes
go for
perfect
water with so and
sense.
so. Do you know? Like,
No, that's that's one of the funniest strategies. Yeah, you need a day planner to play this game. That is hilarious. Yeah, yeah. 8 o'clock in the morning, go to the well
yeah,
with Steve.
yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning, do yoga on the beach with Coach. Yeah, I get it.
Oh my god. Yep. three
Okay,
o'clock.
well, we have
Catch a
talked
fish
for
with
an hour
Rupert.
and a half,
We
so
have.
I'm gonna call it here, unless there's any other takeaways you have from the
No,
episode.
no, no. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks everybody for putting up with the debate. If you have any thoughts or disagree or agree with us, feel free to get a hold of us, weigh in. We'd really like to hear what you think.
That's a very good point. If you
yeah.
think Drew is totally wrong, talkingsurvivor@gmail.com or at buffs_survivor. Yeah, let him know
Let me know.
because
Come,
I'm
come
not
at me, bro.
wrong. I'm not wrong. I don't know why my camera's blurry. Okay. I have to go. Bye-bye.
See you guys.